Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast. Today, we're doing a focused exploration of Centrus Energy based on quite a bit of information you shared. Our goal really is to pull out what's most important for you to understand about this company right now. We've got financial reports, market analysis, industry updates. It all paints a picture of a company deep in the nuclear fuel sector, especially uranium enrichment. Let's try and make sense of it all.
Well, the first thing that jumps out is definitely the financials. Centrus Energy's revenue, it's shown a pretty steady climb. Looking back, you had $293.8 million in 2022, then $320.2 million in 2023, and hitting $442.0 million for the full year 2024. That kind of consistent growth, well, it usually points to something significant happening underneath.
It does. And that momentum really seemed to pick up steam in the last quarter of 2024. Revenue hit $151.6 million, which is quite a jump from $103.6 million the year before, same quarter. What's really key, I think, is how that revenue turned into profit. Full year net income was $73.2 million. And earnings per share, around $4.47 to $4.49. Plus, their Q4 EPS really shot up to $3.20. That beat the forecast, didn't it?
It did, and those earnings figures, they get particularly interesting when you look at valuation. So based on recent data, say a stock price near $5.60 in April 2025, and those EPS numbers we just mentioned, you get a really low PE ratio, like maybe 1 to 2 times earnings. Now, normally energy sector companies trade, maybe 15 to 25 times earnings.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, why such a big gap here? Is the market just skeptical? Or maybe there are specific risks in this nuclear fuel business they're worried about. That's something important to think about.
It absolutely is. The sources we looked at do suggest maybe market caution, maybe sector risks. Okay, so what about their stability, financially speaking? End of 2024, they had about $161 million in stockholders' equity against their liabilities. Total assets around $1,093 million. And they did that big convertible senior notes deal, about $402 million. That seemed to really boost their cash position, ending up with roughly $671 million in unrestricted cash by December 24. So this convertible note, what does that practically mean for the company and for someone watching it?
Right. So those convertible notes are basically a type of debt, but the key part is convertible. It means down the line that debt could potentially be swapped for company stock. It's a good way for them to raise cash now. It gives them flexibility, but it's also something to keep an eye on, definitely, because if those notes convert later, it could dilute the value for existing shareholders.
That's a really important point. Okay, now back to profitability for a second. If we look at return on equity, with net income around $73 million and equity around $161 million. That works out to, about 45% ROE, which sounds incredibly high, much higher than the usual 10-20% you see in energy. So while 45% looks great on paper, you have to ask how they got there. Is it super efficient operations, or is leverage, debt playing a big role?
Understanding that difference is key to assessing its sustainability long-term.
You mentioned earlier they're investing in manufacturing, about $60 million.
Correct. That ties into their strategic position. Centrus has these important contracts with the U.S. Department of Energy for both standard low-enriched uranium, LEU, and crucially, the advanced AAAU fuel. The fact that they have U.S. technology in these government deals gives them a real leg up, I think. Technology leadership, supply chain control. And HAEO, well, its importance is hard to overstate. HEAU is what could fuel many of these next-gen nuclear reactors. More efficient, maybe safer designs. It could really expand nuclear power's uses and improve the economics. So Centrus being early here could be very valuable.
Right, and that $60 million investment in making centrifuges sounds like it connects directly to HAU. You mentioned vertical integration. What's the practical upside for Centrus having more control over its supply chain like that?
Well, by making their own centrifuges, they depend less on outside suppliers for really critical parts. That can mean better cost control, a more secure supply, maybe faster innovation too.
Yeah.
In a niche industry like nuclear fuel, having that in-house capability it can be a pretty big competitive edge.
Yeah, that makes sense, especially with all the global uncertainty around supply chains these days. It's interesting how what Centrus is doing lines up with bigger energy trends too. We're seeing this renewed interest globally in nuclear power, right? Driven by climate goals, government support.
Absolutely. And Centrus's contract backlog, around $2 billion, definitely shows that growing demand. But it's not without risks. You always have potential regulatory changes and geopolitical stuff that could mess with supply chains.
Yeah.
Think about the uncertainty around, say, shipments from Russia's 10X. That's still a factor.
Okay, let's shift to more recent news, sort of mid-April 2025 timeframe. That strong growth we talked about earlier seems to be continuing.
It does. Their LEU segment revenue was up 30% year over year, hitting $349.9 million.
Mm.
And their technical solutions segment, that saw an even bigger jump, up 80% to $92.1 million.
And that growth seems to be building up their future business pipeline.
It certainly is. That revenue growth helped push their total backlog up significantly. It's now around $3.7 billion, stretching out to 2040, and that includes about $2 billion in contingent LEU sales contracts. So a pretty solid base for future earnings.
And they're clearly not sitting still on the operational side.
No, definitely not. That $60 million investment we mentioned, that's specifically for getting centrifuge manufacturing going again and expanding it in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. That's over the next 18 months or so. And beyond that, they're looking at potentially much bigger plans, like a multi-billion-dollar expansion of enrichment capacity in Piketon, Ohio, which, tells you something about their level of ambition.
It really does suggest a major commitment to scaling up.
Absolutely. You combine those expansion plans with the DOE contracts they've already landed for LEU and HLEU. Plus, they're in the running for, over $3.4 billion in federal funds meant to boost domestic nuclear fuel production. It paints a picture of a company being very proactive, very strategic.
We also saw a management change recently.
Yes. Neil Nagarajan was appointed as Senior Vice President and Head of Investor Relations, which might signal perhaps a stronger push to communicate their story to the market. And they also just closed a $350 million private offering of convertible senior notes due in 2030.
Okay, that financing. What are the strategic implications there?
Well, they said the money is for things like working capital, tech development, paying down some debt, capital spending, even potential acquisitions. It sounds like they're funding future growth while also managing their balance sheet. This new capital could give them the firepower they need for those expansion plans we talked about and maybe strengthen their competitive stance.
Okay, so with all this going on, how has the market reacted? What's the stock been doing?
It's been a bit of a ride. The stock price did see a nice bump, about 4.6% in the week ending April 10th. That probably got a boost from some positive analyst coverage. Craig Helen put out a buy rating with a $120 target. But, it highlights the volatility. Since then, the stock's pulled back, maybe around 4.3%, putting it in the mid-$60 as of mid-April. And it's worth remembering, it was trading above $120 earlier in the year. So this price movement shows the market is still weighing things up.
Sounds like the jury's still out for some investors.
That seems fair. The current market cap is near $1 billion, and the PE ratio, based on current price, is now around 14 to 15. That's more moderate than those earlier highs, and certainly different from that super low trailing PE we discussed. Analyst views look kind of mixed, generally a hold consensus overall. You do have some very bullish calls, like H.C. Wainwright had a $300 target earlier, but there are definitely more cautious voices too.
And the bigger picture, the geopolitical side, must be playing a role too.
Oh, absolutely. This renewed global focus on nuclear energy, driven by energy security worries, tensions affecting fossil fuels.
Yeah.
It's a major backdrop. I mean, look at crude oil, down about 22% year to date. Shows the volatility elsewhere. And Centrus's position, having unique American centrifuge tech, that could be a real plus in this environment where supply chains are uncertain.
But there are definite risks to keep in mind as well.
For sure. That high debt-to-equity ratio, roughly 3 to 1, that's significant leverage.
Right.
It adds risk if, say, earnings falter or the economy turns down. And the nuclear industry itself always carries regulatory risk. Policy changes, environmental rules, delays in government funding, like the ongoing reviews of Inflation Reduction Act money that could all have an impact.
But on the flip side, the opportunities seem pretty substantial too.
They do. That large contract backlog gives them a lot of visibility. The investments in expansion position them for growth, and the chance to win more federal contracts, especially for HLEU, that's a potential major catalyst. Even looking at online chatter, places like Reddit or X, you see this sort of cautious optimism. People note the government backing, the strategic moves, but they're also wary of the stock's recent swings. You also sometimes see rumors pop up about new contracts or partnerships, though, you always need to wait for official word on that stuff.
So if someone listening is trying to get a handle on Centrus, what are maybe 1 or 2 key things they should really watch closely?
I'd say definitely track their progress on HLEU. Actual production, any new government contracts specifically for that seems critical. And keep an eye on that debt level, the leverage, and how the market continues to value them against their growth story.
That makes sense. And their position in the market is quite specific, isn't it?
It is. They really emphasize being the only U.S.-owned company with U.S. enrichment technology. Now, there are bigger players in the overall nuclear fuel cycle, like Cameco or Kazatomprom. But Centrus's focus, especially on HALEU, carves out a pretty distinct niche for them, particularly if demand for advanced reactor fuel takes off like some expect.
So looking ahead then, what are the key potential milestones or events that could really move the needle for Centrus?
Well, any concrete news on those big expansion plans in Ohio, that would be major. Further government contracts, especially significant ones for HLEU, would obviously be catalysts. And then there's the ban on Russian-enriched uranium imports, scheduled for 2028. That could open up a big opportunity for domestic suppliers like Centrus.
Okay, so putting it all together, strong growth, strategic niche in a critical sector, government support, but also risks, volatility, leverage. It's definitely a complex picture, but potentially quite compelling for Centrus Energy. The whole HAU development and building out domestic enrichment seem like the core themes to watch. In your view, what's maybe the single most significant factor that will likely shape their future?
If I had to pick one, it might be the successful large-scale deployment of HALEU production. If they can execute on that, and the demand from advanced reactors materializes, that could be transformative. But execution is key.
A lot hinges on that execution then. Well, we hope this exploration has given you some valuable clarity on Centrus Energy. For more detail, of course, you can always check out the company's latest SEC filings and their investor relations website. And if you found this discussion helpful, please do subscribe, like, and maybe leave a comment. We genuinely appreciate hearing your thoughts.